that is the capital city of Zimbabwe. Welcome. This is the main news. My name is Patla Nepuren.
And I am Tariro Manamiki with Noble Maungwa at the Sign Language Desk, as well as Memory Kwendlovu at our Montrose studios. Let's take a look at the stories that we have for you tonight. ZANU-PF President and First Secretary Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa urges party members to unite and work hard.
The Mzarabani Oil and Gas Project has been granted national project status.
Zimbabwe lines up incentives for firms setting up industrial plants.
And later on, when we look at sport, Team Zimbabwe getting 118 medals at the just ended Kosasa Games in Eswatini.
Those were our headlines. We now give you the news in detail. ZANU-PF President and First Secretary Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa has urged party members to work in harmony, emphasizing that the party belongs to the masses. He said this during the ZANU-PF Politburo meeting at the party headquarters in Harare this Wednesday.
Of machinations, nefarious machinations by neo-colonialists and imperialists who are bound to derail the party. Addressing the 386th Politburo meeting in the capital, the First Secretary of the party, Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, said, "We are awake to their machinations."
Tactics and political chicanery meant to mislead or confuse, as well as divide the party and our nation, must be nipped in the bud. We must all speak with one voice and march in one direction. Leaders of the party are bound by collective responsibility and must unite around the party decisions and resolutions which serve as our ideological and moral compass. Aungoroti zvinhu uri kumba kwako oenda uchitaura so rukuronga zvinhu. Our communication to our people must be disciplined. MuZANU-PF tinosungirwa kumira pachokwadi nguva dzose. Mazvake pasinazvo.
He touched on the youth, the vanguard of the party, saying the recent National Assembly of the Youths of Zimbabwe met the bill and said, youths must always work hard and protect the legacy of the party. Remember, the Monomotapa Day is on the horizon.
This is reflective that our youth league is matured beyond political sloganeering and is ready to take up space in other social, economic, and technological spheres towards an improved quality of life for our people and the youth in particular. I look forward to this year's celebrations of Monomotapa Day.
The First Secretary of the party, Comrade Mnangagwa, also touched on the recent interaction between Zimbabwe and other countries.
Our people, including those in the diaspora, must be encouraged to invest in the raw areas in our quest to modernize and industrialize every part of our country. The Department of Local Government within the party should ensure that local authorities come to the table and avail opportunities and the land for the development of industries and manufacturing hubs. As we carry out the work of our party and government, communities must be kept alive to the centrality of agriculture to broad-based empowerment and national prosperity. Let us, therefore, urge stakeholders in the agriculture sector, farmer by farmer, household by household, village by village and ward by ward to accelerate preparations for the 2025-2026 summer cropping season.
This is a mass party that belongs to the people, and leadership must be exemplary, said the President and First Secretary, Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, at the ruling party headquarters in Harare.
Now, Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga has officially opened the 20th India-Africa Business Conclave in New Delhi, urging a shift from resource extraction to value creation and joint ventures as the two regions chart a new chapter in South-to-South cooperation. Abigail Tembo is our reporter in New Delhi.
From shared history to shared prosperity, India and Africa are turning words into action. Here at the 20th India-Africa Business Conclave in New Delhi, leaders are making a bold shift from promises to partnerships, with trade, investment and technology at the heart of a three-day push for real growth. Held under the theme Synergies towards co-creating a shared future, the conclave brought together policymakers, investors and industry leaders from across the two regions to explore opportunities in trade, renewable energy, mining, technology transfer and infrastructure development. Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, who was the guest of honor, underscored the need for Africa and India to move beyond resource extraction towards value addition, industrialization and joint ventures.
Zimbabwe stands here today as a ready and reliable partner. We are strategically positioned at the heart of the Southern Africa, providing access to a market of over 300 million consumers through the Southern African Development Community and 640 million under the Common Market for East and Southern Africa, COMESA, as well as duty-free trade opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Zimbabwe is open for business, not for extraction.
India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Shri Ketivardhan Singh, revealed that trade and investment between India and Africa have grown significantly in recent years, reflecting a deepening economic partnership.
India's bilateral trade with Africa has crossed the magical figure of $100 billion. Today, we have not only created a vibrant development cooperation together, but are also committed to shaping a brighter future for our generations to come.
President of the Confederation of Indian Industry, Mr. Rajiv Nemani, added his voice, saying the conclave comes at a critical time when India is ramping up manufacturing and renewable energy sectors.
India is today the fastest growing large economy, and with a vision for Viksit Bharat by 2047, there are many investments being made in India, whether it's in financial services, manufacturing, infrastructure, and many areas. And a lot of these companies can bring their talent, their capability to the African market and consumers. Day one of the India-Africa Business Conclave set the tone for stronger trade and investment ties as Africa's vast markets link with India's growing industrial power. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, New Delhi.
Now back home, Vice President Kembo Mohadi has paid tribute to Zambian police officers who lost their lives trying to save Zimbabweans who were bombed at Mkushi Girls Camp at the height of the liberation struggle on the 19th of October in 1978.
Reminded of the attack at Mkushi camp, Vice President Kembo Mohadi this Wednesday visited the St. Mary's Cemetery, where 14 out of the 15 Zambian police officers that were killed as they attempted to save girls at Mkushi lie to rest. Here, the Zimbabwean government has managed to build the tombstones where those brave sons have been laid to rest. Vice President Mohadi said Zimbabwe will remain grateful to the supreme sacrifice made by these gallant sons.
They are indeed the brave men, they are indeed the heroes of our liberation struggle as well. if they had not been intercepted by the Rhodesian forces then, I'm sure we would have buried our people, our girls still intact. But because of that interception, no one then dared to go back there until we had to pick those bones after a very long time. And then we had to put those put up those massive mass graves we saw yesterday. I'm very much touched by their bravery.
One of the surviving Zambian police officers, Mr. Ignatius Katambi, narrates the events of the fateful day.
It happened on 19th October 1978 when we received a report that a Mukushi refugee camp was bombed by rebels of Ian Smith of Rhodesia. The police command organized police officers to go to Mboroma refugee camp to give aid or assist the girls who were injured, take them to the clinic, the dead to be buried. We spent a night on 20th October 1978. We were joined by the Zambia Army under the command of Captain Banda. We spent another night on 21st October. We left Mboroma police station and we went to refugee camp where the girls were massacred. When we reached near the camp, we found ourselves ambushed.
From St. Mary's Cemetery, Vice President Mohadi went on to pay homage to those who perished at the Mulungushi camp, which was attacked on the 22nd of December 1978 and 14 April 1979. He said he hopes the younger generation appreciates this supreme sacrifice. As the Vice President continues to visit sites where Zimbabwean and Zambian nationals perished in search of the independence that Zimbabwe enjoys today, the sacrifice made by the Republic of Zambia will forever be cherished. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Kabwe.
Well, the government says it is prioritizing fair and timely payment of farmers and creating space for private players in the marketing of local farmers' produce.
As has become the norm, the annual agribusiness conference was held this Wednesday on the sidelines of the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show in Harare with government, development partners and other stakeholders in attendance. The conference was graced by the Minister of Defense, Comrade Opamu Chinguri Kashiri, who reviewed the government's commitment to boost food security in the country.
As we prepare for the 2025-26 summer cropping season, our focus will be on climate-proofing agriculture through agroecological tailoring, increased investment in irrigation and water harvesting, expanding the Kumbuza and Twasa program for smallholder resilience, strengthening early warning and extension services to guide farmers on best practices.
European Union Head of Cooperation Ms. Anna Sichoka outlined the importance of Zimbabwe's farming industry on exposure to the trading bloc.
The European Union is a huge market potential for Zimbabwean products and agricultural products, and in particular horticulture. For example, the last European Union values for 42% of all exports in horticulture, Zimbabwean exporting horticulture to the EU in 2024.
Horticultural Development Council Operations Manager Mr. Mantla Mataure stressed that the need for farmers to focus on viable strategies focused on increased production and finding markets for produce.
We need to step away from the maybe traditional ways of doing farming where it's only for subsistence or looking after your family or your household, and converting it into a viable commercial business. So that requires one to obviously have the correct corporate governance in place.
The annual conference also created a platform for stakeholders to focus on issues affecting the farming industry in terms of access to markets and financing, among others. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Today marked the third day of the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show, and John Nandara gives us the details.
There was an increase in the number of people attending the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show this Wednesday since the show opened on Monday.
Isu tirimo edu tirimo mushowo tichitengesawo zvatiri kutengesa kuti tiwane kuraramisawo mhuri dzedu.
Tane makore nosvika 8 tatambuswa ku showground. Chinhu chekutanga taenda kunotambira vana vakanotamba kanoona mhuka dzakasiyana siyana vana vakafara tikaenda kune maprison commissioners vana vakasatana nemaprisoners vakanzwisa magara edu kwamuchikurubhi.
Kunakidzwa ndingatinakidzwa nezvese.
Livestock exhibitions also attracted the attention of showgoers.
Tungona different breeds dzemombe dzakangosiyana siyana.
Beautiful breeds. It's got the Simbra, it's got the Simmentals and the Brahmins.
Mombe dziri panapa dzakakura. Imombe.
Other major highlights of the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show were innovations and technologies in the country's agricultural sector.
Right, John Nandara there was at the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show, bringing us highlights of what has been happening. And today, marking day 3, we should be getting another update of what continues to take place at the exhibition park here in Harare. Now, the government continues to modernize infrastructure at the country's ports of entry with a visit to the expanded Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport, revealing efficiency in passage of people and cargo.
Creating a modern aviation gateway hub is what the government of Zimbabwe is striving for. And this Wednesday, the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Honorable Felix Mona, toured some of the ground services equipment which was unveiled by the National Handling Services in order to improve the efficiency of the airport operations.
If you have got that kind of infrastructure, you need to equip it in the sense that the turnaround, whether it's baggage or even visitors, it needs to be enhanced. And precisely this is what we are working on. And I'm happy that through our parastatal NHS, where we are saying we need to compete in this market, in this space. And therefore you need to have modern equipment. And I'm happy that at times people will be questioning to say, do you have the capacity? Now we can accommodate the wide-bodied planes. We are talking of the Airbus A380. And we've got the aerobridge that we have, which will accommodate such kind of a plane.
At the same occasion, a plush first-class lounge to cater for esteemed travelers was unveiled with the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality, Honorable Barbara Rodzi, highlighting the importance of modern airport facilities to tourism development.
This is our first-class lounge, and we know as time goes on, we'll have more first-class lounges and bigger first-class lounges. But look at the state-of-the-art equipment that is here. Look at the type of food. We have our own gastronomy that is served here, which is what we actually applaud the NHS for going into our own gastronomy food that the First Lady has introduced and is going places in the world.
The National Handling Services signaled the unveiling of the equipment and the business lounges, key milestones to harness the aviation and tourism value chains.
We have actually decided to go green in line with ESG. We have acquired baggage tow tags and equipment at the airport that doesn't always use diesel or petrol, as was the case previously. We have gone also into gas and electric motored equipment.
The Shipping and Freight Forwarding Association of Zimbabwe says airport recapitalization is also a boost to creating a regional cargo hub.
We are quite excited as freight forwarders in Zimbabwe that NHS has acquired this equipment, and that will go a long way in increasing the capacity of our airport to handle our cargo both for imports and exports.
The now expanded Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport has an annual passenger holding capacity of about 6 million passengers from around 2.5 million passengers, and the government is determined to ensure that it creates a regional aviation hub by modernizing this airport. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Tourism players have welcomed the government's decision to review license fees, permits and levies, saying the move will boost the competitiveness of Destination Zimbabwe.
The major highlight of Tuesday's post-cabinet media briefing was the announcement of the slashing in license fees and taxes by up to 50%, beginning with the tourism and hospitality industry sector.
The proposed reviews that were approved by cabinet, but obviously subject to further refinements, include professional tour guide fees registration, which will be reduced by more than 40%. Tour operators licenses from 500 to 300, boat tours by more than 50%, licensing fees in terms of houseboats by more than 50%, cruise permit licensing. There are various licenses, a lot of them. But now there is need for further stakeholder consultation. The first phase is done. Now we're moving to the second one.
The development comes after government took notice of high-cost structures stifling growth and affecting the competitiveness of local products and tourism offerings.
We applaud the move by government to lower costs as pronounced following yesterday's cabinet meeting. The current thrust towards easing the cost of doing business is welcome, as it will not only enhance the investment attractiveness of Zim's tourism industry, but will also have, in the long term, a positive impact on pricing.
In the tourism city of Victoria Falls, where competition in the boat cruise space is rife, the move to slash fees provides an impetus to be competitive.
The president has been calling on ease of doing business, and this is a paradigm shift from previous years where prices are always escalating in doing business. We would want this to go across the board to other regulators, Parks and Wildlife, inland waters, to follow suit in a way that will enable the destination to be more competitive.
The move to slash fees resonates with President Emmerson Mnangagwa's decision to eradicate hurdles which suffocate business. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, Communist Party of the Russian Federation Central Committee member Dr. Vyacheslav Tetekin has given credit to Zimbabwe for winning the war against illegal economic sanctions, adding that there is need to identify key strategic partners to foster development.
Dr. Tetekini interacted with the ZANU-PF officials at the Chitepo School of Ideology in Harare this Wednesday as part of his visit to Zimbabwe, presenting a paper on the role of the School of Ideology in the socio-economic and political transformation of the Russian Federation. He noted the progress that Zimbabwe has made towards transforming people's lives despite reeling under illegal economic sanctions imposed on the country by the West.
How would they introduce sanctions? This is an act of war, and you must perceive it like that. And you are not victims, you are fighters. So it's, hey, you introduce sanctions. This is what we're going to do. So for us, sanctions was a very powerful mobilizing factor, extremely powerful mobilizing factor. So you must approach ideologically this issue as something that we are not humble victims of, but something we must fight as during the time of the liberation struggle. This is the same thing. I think that you are already overcoming the sanctions.
Dr. Tetekini stressed the importance of ideology in the development of any country.
For the sustainable development, the ideology is important. Because one, you must understand, you must chart the road on which you are going. Let me tell you again about Russia. In 1991, when the new forces came to power, they say, no, we're not ideological, we are pragmatic. We're not speaking socialism, communism, although they were anti-communists at that time, but still, formally, they pretended to be out of ideology. But eventually, when they started to face the conflict with the West, they start to understand the importance of ideology.
Zimbabwe and Russia enjoy cordial relations on the political and economic front, with the high-profile visit meant to cement these ties. Bruce Chawanda, ZBC News, Harare.
The implementation of the Muzarabani oil and gas project has intensified after the conclusion of the consolidated production and profit-sharing agreement between the government and Invictus Energy.
Tuesday, Cabinet announced that the Consolidated Petroleum Production Sharing Agreement and Petroleum Exploration and Production Agreement for the Mzarabani Oil and Gas Project is now in place, adding that the venture has since been granted national project status. The development has been welcomed by the contractor, who has been granted the rights to exploit oil and gas resource in Zimbabwe.
We are also now progressing with our next activity in the field, which will be the drilling of the Musuma 1 well. So that is targeting a prospect that we have, a gas prospect in the east, on trend with the Mukuyu gas discovery that we made in the back end of 2023. And that's looking to unlock some additional resources. So we've only drilled 2 wells in the basin so far, and we've had 2 successes, which is a fantastic start, but we've got a big area to explore.
The conclusion of the production and profit sharing agreement is expected to come with mutual benefits for Zimbabwe and the investor. Exploration conducted by Geo Associates in collaboration with Invictus Energy has confirmed the presence of oil and gas in the Mzarabani Basin. Since getting the approval to implement the exploration project in 2018, Invictus Energy has undertaken an aggressive program acquiring 1,400 kilometers of 2D seismic and drilling 2 wildcat wells, resulting in the Mukuyu gas condensate discovery in late 2023. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Remember that you can visit our website, that's www.zbc.co.zw, for these and more stories. And you can also follow us on our X handle, Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel. And our handle is @ZBC News Online.
Still on this bulletin, these are the stories to look forward to. Well, Zimbabwe is lining up incentives for firms that are setting up industrial plants. We'll be hearing what's on the cards. And later on in your sports, Team Zimbabwe bringing 118 medals home and just ended Kosasa Games, that is in Eswatini. We'll be giving you details on that and a whole lot more when we come back.
It is my singular honor and privilege to officiate at the National of the Production Booster Kit program, which we have introduced, which marks yet another significant milestone in our country's agricultural transformation agenda.
Munotambira nhoye pamusoro inokumbira onzeve timbotaura announcement eude kumbanai pande tose makomoyo tourism expo everybody let's go teni kusvika 12 September save that date to remember it's happening for the first time in Manicaland sanganai kumbanai come along, Tourism Expo.
From the 10th to the 12th of September at Mutare Sports Club. Come and exhibit your business. Register now. Email ncb@ztazim.co.zw. Call 8677005940 and visit www.zimbabwetourism.net/Sanganai. Experience Zimbabwe. Zimbo.
If you drink, be responsible.
The Chinua University of Technology 21st graduation ceremony will take place on Thursday, 28 August 2025 at the CART Sports Grounds, starting at 900 hours. All graduates, their parents, guardians and guests are kindly requested to be seated by 800 hours. running under the theme Leveraging Heritage-Based Technology for the Consolidation of National Development Milestones. The ceremony will be broadcast live on ZBC TV and will also be live streamed on the CAT website and Facebook page. All invited graduates must attend rehearsals on Wednesday, 27th August 2025 at the graduation venue from 1400 hours. Academic regalia can be purchased at the main campus and Harare office. Congratulations, Makurukoto Amflope.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We continue with our main news bulletin and now we focus on our Heroes feature. As the country continues to celebrate Heroes Month, we cast the spotlight on the bravery of freedom fighters who came up with various strategies to adapt to different situations when they were confronted by Rhodesian forces.
The liberation of Zimbabwe could not have been possible without the contribution of Tanzania. And here we are talking about Nachingwea camp in Lindi region in the southern part of Tanzania, which produced more than 15,000 guerrillas that ended up overwhelming the Smiths regime. But how did the leadership manage this kind of a group without attracting the attention of the enemy? Nachingwea was one of the camps specifically constructed using a guerrilla tactics blueprint, which saw the desperate colonial regime trying in vain to discredit the freedom fighters, claiming they were animals that would disappear when cornered. Yet it was their ability to adapt to any environment. So one of the major strengths and characteristics of being a guerrilla is being able to blend and to be secretive. And this house was built for that. We are talking about the house that used to house the legendary comrade Samora Moses Machel of Mozambique, who was the leader of the Frelimo. And when Frelimo left after the Mozambican people got their independence in 1975, this house was adopted by the Zanla forces, which then started to use it for its leaders. So after convening a meeting here, the leadership would then disappear in a tunnel that stretches for more than 2 kilometers to an airstrip.
This one was a residence house, but there were some security ways. Suppose dangers, there are signs of dangers outside. There are escaping ways. There is a way here that was used to escape. So the leaders can escape from here without the ones from out to know that they are escaping.
The first group that came here around 76 or so, which was called Songamberi, was about 5,000. And also the second group that came, that's where I was on the second group, the Fanya Araga group. We were an equal number, almost another 5,000. And the last group that followed was called Maliza. We are looking at these big groups going to the front. Obviously, there was a big change in the matrix of the fighting.
While the former camp, which is now ESCO, has been preserved as a memorial site, the local leadership is convinced of its potential to attract tourists.
We believe because the structures, the building, they're very old, and especially the chamber, the secret chamber. We want to at least to renovate it.
With the land use changing due to the increase in population, the Zimbabwean delegation that toured Nachingwea camp believes there's need to immortalize the site to preserve the country's history.
We must memorialize our history, and we must work together with our regional brothers and sisters to ensure that this history is not lost. And this is what we are going to focus on. We are going to do a lot of additional homework, to verify facts, to ensure that when we memorialize that history, it's very objective, and it's as comprehensive as much as possible.
Since its adoption as a training camp by Zanla forces in 1976, Nachingwea produced more than 15,000 guerrillas comprising Songambele, Fanya Haraka, and Maliza groups. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Nachingwea.
Right, let's now cross over to our Montrose studios where Memory Nkwendlovu is on standby with more news. Memory?
Good evening to you, Patla. Thank you very much, and good evening to the viewers at home. Zimbabwe has been implored to take advantage of the existing cordial relations between Harare and Dar es Salaam, which date back to the days of a liberation struggle, and improve trade between the two countries. We get more from Providence Maranelli, who is in Tanzania.
With cordial relations that dates back to the time of the liberation struggle, Zimbabwe's top envoy here in Tanzania, Her Excellency Helen Dingane, believes that Zimbabwe is not fully utilizing the warm political relations that exist between Harare and Dar es Salaam.
We should leverage on our friendship and move that and change it to economic advantage. I had a meeting with the president of Zanzibar, and he was very, very strong on that. We should now move forward from just being friends and just smiling politically, but now let's translate it to our economic advantage. In particular, we want to look at tourism, we want to look at agriculture. Zimbabwe is very good in agriculture, and we can actually do a lot with Tanzania as far as I see.
With Tanzania being the gateway to most of the Asian and European markets, Zimbabwe can leverage on the political relations to explore export markets.
We do have some companies or Zimbabweans who are operating here in Tanzania. That is what we now want to work on, to see who is here as Zimbabweans, Zimbabwean companies, Zimbabwean consultants, so that we then document who is where.
Zimbabwe and Tanzania share a lot in common, with Tanzania having provided a safe haven for liberation movements in southern Africa as a logistical and training base for anti-colonial efforts in the region. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Dar es Salaam.
Scores of traders at DST Home Industry in Gweru are counting losses after a fire broke out, destroying property worth thousands of dollars. Tafara Chikumira has the details.
An inferno has engulfed the DST home industry, hitting a heavy blow to some traders at the industrial area who had to watch in horror as their property was reduced to ashes. Although authorities are yet to divulge the cause of the inferno, eyewitnesses' accounts point to a suspected electrical fault.
Moto wakatangira pa shedi yakanga iri papa yanga ine mafomu rubber. Pakangoita just a spark. Then mafomu rubber anobvira kunge parafini. Patakazama kuti moto waka mhepo yapayangorova akambabatira isi moto wangoti kawani. Kuti hiti yaivepo hatina kwanza kuti svike padhuze.
Some traders say the inferno has destroyed their sources of livelihoods as they seek for assistance to get back on their feet.
Accident yakangouya tisina kuzvitarisira kana kufungidzira, nekuti kana pazvakatoitika tichitonzi moto uyu ndiri munhu akatoshokeka zvekuti ndakatotadza kuziva kuti ndoita sei.
Ndakazama kusiya zvandaive nazvo kuti ndinozama kuda kudhonza something, kudhonza property yedu, but moto wacho was very fast.
Zvinhu zvatakarasikwa nazvo apo zvokosta mari yakawanda, estimation yacho because pane magenerator mahombe aripo ndofunga zvogona kusvika around kuma 33,000.
Government called on the small to medium enterprises sector to be organized and get the necessary licensing for them to get the support in times of crisis.
We compliment Gweru City Council and the Fire Brigade Department for containing this fire.
Thank the government for providing us with fire tenders that we used yesterday to extinguish the fire.
Gweru Inferno comes barely a month after fire gutted the Glenview Area 8 home industry in Harare, destroying people's properties, thereby renewing debate on the need for traders to insure their products. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
Government has intensified efforts in the fight against drug and substance abuse, with the plans in motion to set up rehabilitation centers in all districts and increase awareness campaigns.
Drug and substance abuse continues to ravage communities, with the social ill no longer confined to towns but spreading to rural areas where it is breaking families, eroding cultural values and destroying the future of young people. Government is seized with the matter amid revelations that it is intensifying awareness campaigns and establishing more rehabilitation centers. The move has been hailed by traditional leaders who also called for punitive measures against offenders and drug suppliers. This came out at a drug and substance abuse resource mobilization meeting held in Masvingo.
Miro chiriko muruzeva matobva communities ana kumira zvakanaka, especially isuti nema communities anobata highway yeBed Bridge Harare. Zvinoda kupota chibatsiro, especially township zvino cascade zvinopinda muruzeva.
Ima drugs walawo ile sidhakako sokotenge timbange nemwani mumiri yitekako ikanganisako zvikanganyisa etindlondo tahina.
Youths hailed the government for stepping in with concrete solutions.
We are greatly honored kana hurumende yedu iri kutirangarirawo kuti tite fight against drug and substance abuse. Yekuti kumatecha institutions kurufanira kuti kuproduce professionals
for Vision 2030 to be achieved. Inoda vanhu vanenge vari sober minded.
The Masvingo provincial leadership revealed plans to establish rehabilitation centers in all districts across the province.
Tichatarisa kuti district by district richange rine rehabilitation center ichange ichiti vana vawana zvinodhaka vaende kunorapiwa ikoko. Tozoita yemuno muprovince ye-provincial center ye-rehabilitation center at provincial level.
Programu yekuti titsvake nokuunganidza zvikwanisiro zvokuti tirwise chirongwa chemadrugs ichi isu tinochigamuchira zvakanyanya muno Masvingo ende tichachisapota zvakanyanya.
Government has already rolled out several initiatives in the fight against drug and substance abuse, including setting up of an interministerial task force, intensifying law enforcement operations and community-based awareness programs. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
Bulawayo is set to come alive this week as the city hosts the Love Zimbabwe Festival, a Christian-led celebration that combines music, sport and community empowerment initiatives.
The three-day event, which runs from Wednesday to Friday, is spearheaded by the Global Network of Evangelists. It is a vibrant fusion of music, sport and community empowerment, all rooted in a message of hope and transformation.
Music is one of the presentations that we will use. We have various artists, Vuyo Brown, Vocal X, Choir, Meet Luminous, Mai Maningi, Snowy. We have Cypress coming from the USA, Jimmo from South Africa, he's a hip-hop rap artist. We have Kenya's Kubamba, that do dance, drama, DJing, and then we have Soulbox, hip-hop group.
The Love Zimbabwe Festival is a profound impact extending beyond the main stage, as organizers have been actively involved in capacitating youth with creative arts training.
Within churches, a significant shift in focus has taken place where we are cognizant that the gospel needs to be holistic. It's what we are now calling integral mission, where we are preaching the gospel but also looking at empowering people, not just with projects for them, but helping them come up with the ideas of what they can do. That way there's a sense of ownership.
The festival, a series of nationwide events, has already brought its unique blend of outreach and entertainment to Chinhoyi and Gweru, with the final stop planned for Harare next month. Yolande Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And that story taking us back to our team at Pockets Hill with the rest of the bulletin. Good evening.
Right, thanks a lot, Memory, and the entire team there at our Montrose studios. Now, Mozambican President Daniel Chapo has commended the Pan-African Parliament for its role in conflict resolution across the continent.
The Pan-African Parliament, PAP, led by Chief Fortune Charumbira, was in Mozambique for a bilateral visit to the Southern African nation. During the visit, Chief Charumbira paid a courtesy call on Mozambican President His Excellency Daniel Chapo, who expressed his country's appreciation of PAP's role in mediating and facilitating a peaceful resolution to post-election unrest in Mozambique. Chief Charumbira also met the Speaker of the National Assembly of Mozambique, Honorable Margarida Talapa. The PAP president outlined the challenges hindering their work that include budgetary constraints and the need for the parliament to be recognized as an independent organ. During the visit, Chief Charumbira laid wreaths at the memorial site for Mozambican heroes in Maputo. PAP is mandated to promote the coordination and harmonization of policies, measures, programs, and activities of Africa's regional economic communities and parliamentary fora. John Nandara, ZBC News.
The government is strengthening the country's security apparatus within the confines of the law to protect citizens as well as to uphold constitutional freedoms.
The Deputy Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Advocate Norbert Mazungunye, this Wednesday delivered a public lecture at the Zimbabwe National Defense University in Mazoe, highlighting the nexus between national security and the country's constitution.
There is a complex relationship where the national security has to ensure that there's security in the country, and also at the same time the constitution provides that we have to respect the rights of the people. So at times the constitution also goes further to ensure that there are limitations to those rights, especially with regards to issues to institutions where there are public emergencies, where there are challenges with respect to the security of the country, and those rights or limitations they are also provided by the law, and the security sector has to act.
The public lecture also delved into challenges to national security that include cyber threats. There was also emphasis on a strong constitutional foundation that guarantees respect for human rights while enabling effective responses to security challenges. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
All right, and that report there from John Nandara takes us to a break. When we come back, we'll be looking at your business news.
It is my singular honor and privilege to officiate at the National of the Production Booster Kit Program, which we have introduced, which marks yet another significant milestone in our country's agricultural transformation agenda.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your minds on it, let the light of truth.
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is pleased to announce the opening of a new office at the Zimbabwe Agricultural Office Showgrounds. This new office has been established for your convenience, making it easier than ever to pay for your radio and television licenses. By visiting this office, you will also help us reduce congestion at our other centers. Remember, your license is not just a requirement, it is an investment in keeping Zimbabwe's voice on air, promoting local content and preserving our cultural heritage. Don't get stuck in the crowd. Slide through to the Agricultural Office Showgrounds and keep the airwaves alive.
drink. Be responsible.
Be part of the 2025 ZBC Golf Day. Join us on 12 September at Chapman Golf Club for an exclusive networking event bringing together ZBC executives, industry leaders, and key stakeholders, all while supporting a worthy cause. The ZBC Golf Day raises funds for a CSR initiative. This year's funds will pay school fee for underprivileged children in 10 rural schools across Zimbabwe. We have a variety of sponsorship and partnership packages available. For more information, contact Thelma on 0776 413 261.
Welcome back. We now give you the business news. Zimbabwe is lining up incentives for companies setting up shop to promote industrialization. And we get more from our business editor, Stanley James.
The signing ceremony of an agreement between motor industry player AVM Africa and one of the country's largest investors, Dinson Iron and Steel Company, DISCO, in the creation of partnerships to revive the motor industry value chains, created a platform for government and the private sector to focus on long-term strategies to ease the import bill and focus on self-sufficiency. Dinson Industrial Group Chief Executive Officer Mr. Benson Shu says that the lining up of incentives to firms scaling up local production is important in realizing the goals of an industrialized economy.
This is just starting point, before a long journey to travel. So now we have the local steel, local quality steel. Then we know that the steel can be used for all the industry. So local, the buses industry can also be the industry can benefit from steel manufacturing.
AVM Africa Managing Director Mr. Jacob Cooper reviewed the importance of the agreement in adding value to Zimbabwe's industrialization roadmap.
The steel that is going to be manufactured in Zimbabwe, we're not going to export it, then come back as finished products. The steel as it comes from the mill is processed into final finished products, which in this case buses.
The Minister of Industry and Commerce, Honorable Manganiso Ndlovu, outlined the government's plan for incentives to local firms consolidating the industrialization agenda.
The motor industry, which relies heavily on steel components, the mining sector, which depends on steel for machinery and equipment, the energy sector, which uses steel in power generation and transmission infrastructure, the transport and railway sectors, as well as agriculture, which benefits from steel-based equipment and implements, among others. This wide reach demonstrates the transformative power of steel in driving economic growth.
Zimbabwe is expected to derive benefits from the partnership by increasing confidence in the iron and steel sector, as well as reviving the motor industry, which is currently operating at less than 5% of installed capacity. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Right, let's take a look at the arts now, where the government is intensifying export development initiatives targeting the creative sector and to enhance the market visibility of creatives.
The sound of chisel and hammer breaks an otherwise silent environment in a nearby forest here in Mashava. With precision, 56-year-old John Chipiri carefully works on this boulder, collecting a piece that he will later package for the global audience. It is a skill he has mastered over 30 years. His ingenuity forming a basis to supporting the arts and crafts industry.
Tikawana mukana kuti tawana market ku America, tawana market ku Germany, tawana market ku UK, tawana ope kunozvisa zvichitengeswa ikoko. Aiwa zvinenge zvatiitira.
Along with at least 100 artisans working under Mashava Arts Center, they have created a vibrant sector advancing the rural industrialization agenda. To fully harness this potential, government through Zimtrade is advancing export development programs in this sector, pushing for direct global market access.
ndoshuviro kunyanyisa yatinayo kutoti dai such an opportunity kainyasa kuvhurika naipo ndoona sekuti basa rediri riri kubambira kuva nevadiki chatoda kushuvira kuti dai vagona kukwana.
According to the latest trade statistics highlighted in the Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency half-year report for 2025, arts and craft exports rose by at least 25%, pushing above 11 million United States dollars in earnings. This figure is expected to further increase as government implements programs to support the development of this sector.
Now it takes great skill to become an expert in this field.
Kubva kuGermany tine zvivezwa zvakaenda, zvimwe zvacho takatobatsirwa neZimtrade, then tinana America nana Chicago tine ma-exhibition ama-beds atinoita iwawo. Kunana Canada tine ma-clients anouya anoenda anongoshanda anohodha kuno asi anongoshanda achidhila nema-exhibitions.
Government targets to strengthen the creative industry through policies and programs supporting small-scale players, targeting robust participation towards improving livelihoods and incomes.
17-time Grammy Award winner CeCe Winans delivered an unforgettable maiden performance on Zimbabwean soil this Tuesday, sending gospel lovers into spiritual ecstasy.
The Celebration Center in Harare transformed into a massive worship arena Tuesday night as American gospel legend CeCe Winans finally brought her ministry to Zimbabwean soil. The historic event began with an electrifying performance by a local gospel superstar, Janet Manyoa, who set the spiritual tone for the evening with her powerful vocals and ministry.
Here's some makeup, and here's the great I am.
Manyoa's soulful, stirring performance created the perfect spiritual atmosphere, preparing the hearts of worshippers for the main act. Tuesday night's performance not only fulfilled the dreams of local gospel music enthusiasts, but also cemented Zimbabwe's growing reputation as a preferred destination for international gospel artists. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
Story takes us to a break, but when we come back, we'll give you the latest in sport with Anashe Mrombezi. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
The National Social Security Authority wishes to advise its valued pensioners that the Life Certificate Renewal Exercise for 2025 will be running from the 4th of August 2025 to the 31st of October 2025. Administration of life certificates will be done at various NASA regional, sub and satellite offices across the country. Pensioners are advised to utilize their nearest NASA offices for this exercise. Pensioners should come to NASA in person with original and copy of their national identity cards or a valid passport. Driver's license will not be accepted as proof of identity. Bedridden and grossly disabled pensioners will be visited by NASA in their respective homes. NASA will also visit selected POSB, NBS and ZimPost during the pensioner pay dates. Several local business centers and growth points will be visited by NASA on dates to be advised. Pensioners living outside Zimbabwe can download the life certificate on www.nasa.org.zw. Upon completion and certification, kindly email to nasalifecertificates@nasa.org.zw. Failure to renew a life certificate by the 31st of October 2025 will result in suspension of benefit payout. Secure your benefits payments by renewing your life certificate. NASA, a lifelong promise.
Welcome to the Sports Corner. Anna Shabrombeds here with the latest in the world of sport. Zimbabwe had a decent outing at the COSASA Games after a haul of 118 medals, the most by any country at the regional tournament, which ended this Wednesday in Eswatini.
Zimbabwe amassed the largest number of medals at the just ended COSASA Games in Eswatini, bringing home 118 medals. South Africa were, however, the game's champions as they bagged more gold medals with 71, while Zimbabwe had 24. The major highlight on the final day was the back-to-back wins by the Zimbabwe under-18 boys and girls volleyball teams.
This one was kind of complicated, reason being we hadn't adjusted to the situation and the conditions. But then the third one, the second one, it was okay. We played our best.
It was a little bit hard, but we managed to win.
Excited, more than excited. Remember, we are defending champions in this tournament for this age group, so we are proud to bring back the gold home. I feel very great for winning the cup, for winning the gold.
With a total of 118 medals aggregated as 24 gold, 48 silver and 46 bronze, defending champions Zimbabwe fell short to South Africa, who measured in athletics. South Africa had 71 gold medals, 30 silver and 10 bronze to occupy pole position. Eswatini came last in the competition, which also left countries like Botswana, Lesotho and Namibia with more to learn to strengthen the region in sporting excellence. Mthokozi Stube, ZBC News, Lobamba.
Warriors coach Michael Onizi is this Thursday expected to announce the senior national team players for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Benin and Rwanda next month.
Zimbabwe will face Benin on the 5th of September before hosting Rwanda on the 9th at Orlando Stadium in South Africa. The squad could feature a number of new faces who have been performing well in recent months. Moza central midfielder Abubakar Moffat has been a revelation since joining the Northern-based club mid-season from Spain. The 27-year-old SC's Youth Soccer Academy product, who is gifted with a wicked left foot, has not only boasted the midfield but has an eye to thread penetrative passes. He might have joined more in their bed patch, but he certainly has been a top-notch. FC Platinum's Gerson Selemani is one player who is just starting to play to his potential after terrorizing defenders with his speed and skill. The 25-year-old winger, another SC's product, is not just a speedster, but a boss of accuracy and precision on top of being a dead ball specialist. Selemani has predominantly been deployed in a wide attacking role, but is also comfortable playing behind the frontmen. Another player who has consistently been overlooked for the national team selection is Simba Bora's attacking midfielder Emmanuel Suocha. With 14 assists this season, he's way ahead of the rest in creative statistics on top of 4 goals he has contributed. Suocha is thriving in Shamba after leaving Dynamis and showing his full range of skills that include dribbling, vision and close ball control. Scotland's Timon Machope, a predator in the box, Highlanders Mason Mushore, composed central midfielder, exuberant Cape United midfielder Tanaka Shandirwa as some of the French players who need to nail down a place in the squad. The Umsona brothers, Knowledge and Water, Starman Kama Billiard and forward Terence Ukamanja proven stars at international level and should make the squad barring any fitness issues. Outside the country's borders, young Prosper Padera deserves a call-up after successfully auditioning at the COSAFA tournament, while Tawanda Maswanise started off where he left off last season in the Scottish Premier League. Tawanda Chirewa, with 3 goals, the most for the Warriors in current World Cup and AFCON qualifiers, warrants his place despite not being a favourite of coach Michael Nessa. With Zimbabwe having slim chances of qualification, it remains to be seen if Captain Marvelous Nakamba will be cobbed out after returning from a long-term injury. Vice-Captain Marshall Mnetz of English Premier League side Wolves and other battle-hardened stars like Gerald Takwara, Teenage Harib and Divine Lung are expected to be called up. Lawrence Trusida, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe has made history by hosting the African Union Sports Council Region 5 Youth Darts Championships for the first time since the tournament's inception in 2011. The Continental Showcase, being held in Mazowe, has drawn over 70 participants from across Southern Africa.
As Brave Mambo, a boy from the rural outskirts, dreams of conquering the region, Zimbabwe's potential to produce its own version of teenage dance sensation, Luke Littler, is becoming more than just a dream. The setting up of the stage at the M.I. Mugabe International School has reignited hopes of the awakening of a giant in Zimbabwean darts, with the future of the sport receiving tremendous support, going pound for pound, with 8 countries in the biannual youth competition. This marks a major milestone for Zimbabwe, not only as a host, but as an emerging powerhouse in youth sports development.
This is an amazing opportunity for us to showcase our country. And it is our hope that if we keep on doing things that are of this quality, that Zimbabwe will become the premier destination for sports.
Since inception in 2011, the tournament has grown to become a platform for nurturing talent, with this year's edition promising intense competition and cultural exchange.
We already have an Africa Darts Council which has just started. The idea is now for us to see what is their vision. How best can we join and be part of that Africa Darts Council? The idea is we get to Africa Darts Council, from there we go to the world.
After the official opening of the tourney, the stage is set for the kick-off this Thursday. It will run until the 29th of August, with high hopes that Team Zimbabwe will deliver on home soil. Reynold Ngwarati, ZBC News, Mazoe.
Scotland hitman Tymon Machope has hit top form at the right time, with his latest goals fueling the Mavugo-based club's challenge for a maiden Castle Premier Soccer League title.
Talk of a man who is always there when it matters most. It is none other than Scotland forward Tymon Machope, the lanky striker who always turns up when the going gets tougher. He made his debut in the top flight in July 2023, and by the end of the season he had scored 7 goals, helping then New Boys Simba Bora survive relegation. He, however, started slowly in 2024, prompting some to label him a fluke, but he picked up form at the right time and scored crucial goals. Simba Bora won the league title, with the striker contributing 11 goals. 2025 saw Machope switching to Scotland and once again started on a slow note, scoring just 5 times in the first 22 games. He was, however, back in the groove as the season approaches the home stretch. Machope has bagged 5 goals in the last 3 league encounters, taking his tally for the season to 10.
I'm very happy. Because, as a striker, if you score, you will motivate yourself. If you don't score, you will get frustrated, so goals won't come. So if you score once, then the confidence will come.
At Scotland, he has stiff competition for a place in the starting lineup after Mavugo-based side brought in Warriors forwards Anola Jimsona and Terence Zukamanja, as well as a Malawian striker Kuda Muyaba. His coach, Atondra Ndirai, however, believes Machope thrives under pressure.
The coming in of Terence Zukamanja, Anola Jimsona, Kuda Muyaba has really pushed him, has really pushed his performances. So he is really motivated to scoring goals.
In the last 2.5 seasons, Machope scored 28 goals, the most in the local league during that period, and is the second player after Takunda Benura to score more than 10 goals in 2 consecutive seasons in the last 4 years. With 10 goals to his name this season, Machope still needs to catch up with the current top goal scorer Washington Navai on 13 and Beli Veremu, who now seems to be stuck on 11 goals. Lawrence Truseda, ZBC News, Harare.
That's it from the Sports Corner, where the report in focus is up next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. Hope I find you well. Looking at some of the conditions that we had across board, we had a bit of cloudiness over Chiwezi and Beitbridge district. This was because of cooling southeasterlies over those southern parts, but by afternoon it was becoming sunny and hot as the winds were shifting into an easterly wind and becoming less moist as the day progressed. Thus, for tomorrow, we're expecting more of the sunny skies across much of the country, and it should be hot by day but very cool. in the morning hours. But for today, we had mostly those clear skies, and for tomorrow, we're still expecting more of that clearance as the clouds shift into an easterly direction, giving us just brief cloudy periods over the eastern highlands. The rest of the week and into the weekend, we're expecting more of the clear skies across much of the country, making it hot by day, but the evening hours are still in the category across much of the country, except for a few areas that are in the cold and also mild category over the Zambezi Valley. By afternoon, we're expecting it to be mostly in the lower 30s. We're expecting it to be hot by day, with Bulawayo at 32, morning temperature in the cool category, which is at 12, and same for Matopo, we're expecting it to be cool at first, becoming hot by afternoon. Kwanda, we're expecting also hot conditions by afternoon, so we urge you to keep hydrated in most of the cities, where Gweru is projected to be at 30 by afternoon tomorrow, and morning temperature in the 10 degrees Celsius, slightly cold over Gweru, whilst Masvingo is cool, and Mayanga is also cold in the morning, becoming warmer as the day progresses. Same for Marandra, cold at first, but should warm up gradually to about 28 degrees. 28 also projected for Harare, beginning off cool, whilst Akwe starts off very cold, becoming warmer as the day progresses. Sunny skies are projected over Kadoma, with mostly in the lower 30s for most of our temperatures. So we urge you to keep hydrated. If you're going to Chinoy, we're expecting a maximum of 31 for tomorrow. For Victoria Falls, it's 35 with brief cloudy periods, but shouldn't give us much in terms of the cooling effect. Same for Lupane, we're expecting just more of the scattered clouds here and there. Bindura also projected to be slightly cool tomorrow, but it warms up into the weekend. Same for Kariba at 33 by afternoon, mild in the morning. That's all for our weather and forecast. Been a Place Zimbabwe. I'm James Goma Jr. for the Met Department.
Many thanks to the Met Department for giving us the weather report and forecast. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us, it's good night.
Good night.